Today I'm interviewing Gideon Greaves, full disclosure, he's my son. And I know a lot of South Africans and other nationalities are interested in why Dubai. So I'm going to try and unpack some of these issues and get some more information about a business like blockchain and why Dubai is so important. So first of all, Gideon, welcome to BPB.
Hello, Dad.
Why is Dubai ground zero for that kind of industry right now?
Dubai has aspirations to be sort of the new New York. So everything about Dubai is thinking forward. So there's a lot of support, resources and capital centered around any businesses that are part of building the technology of the future, whether that's in robotics or space innovation or AI or blockchain. So it's a good place, I believe, to be for any entrepreneur that's wanting to be part of this new narrative of being in a city that's trying to position themselves as the next major financial hub alongside names like New York and so on. But blockchain itself is a very complicated ecosystem as well. There's many different aspects to it. And arguably some of the truer use cases don't actually need a token. So blockchain and crypto and Web3, whilst they're all sort of married, they're not the same thing.
Yeah. And what is your key interest within that field?
Well, I just love to be part of any sort of space that's driving innovation and that's part of the future. It's exciting to be in a technology that's, that will literally completely shape and disrupt industries. I think the market has been fueled by speculation. More tokens are listed in the market than ever before. The crypto cycle goes through these sort of 4-year cycles that follow the Bitcoin halving. And if you look at 2 cycles ago, 2017, there were only 3,000 tokens in the market. Nowadays, it's much easier to launch a token. There's 36 million tokens in the market. I can do it on my phone right now. It'll take me 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes, and I can launch a token right now. So at the same time, whilst that's happening, it started to create a feeling from retail investors that this was a lot more difficult than I thought it was. But institutional adoption is, I believe, at an all-time high right now. Yeah. Still very immature, still has a long way to go. But because of the launch of the different ETFs, because of different administrations starting to focus on the asset class, people are looking at it more seriously and trying to understand how it may impact their business, disrupt their business, and how they should be adopting it.
You've been involved in blockchain startups for the last couple of years all over the world. What are the use cases that are showing the most potential now?
Disruption in fintech, specifically in emerging markets, being able to bank the unbanked. I think lots of people in emerging markets will have a crypto wallet before they have a bank account.
Yeah.
And then the other use cases are really going to be around like verification and credentials.
Yes.
You think about like your ID, vaccines.
Medical, yeah, a lot of medical applications, I would imagine.
Medical applications, anything that needs to be certified that isn't right now, and also isn't digitized. So digitizing something isn't enough because it can still be manipulated and it will be stored on a centralized server that can
be hacked.
Yeah. So the next step is having your license or your ID. I mean, the fact that we still have paper money is actually quite insane if you think about it.
Yeah.
And that we have to have an ID that expires over time, and if we lose it, I mean, we go into Mars, but we still have, passports that we hold in our hands.
Yeah.
And during COVID, we were holding paper vaccines. It was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
So being able to digitize that and verify it on chain is going to be huge. And that spans into many other use cases. Think about Africa and how much of the GDP is lost to fraudulent transactions, corruption, pure procurement. If that was all on chain, if you were Eskom and you put out a tender and everyone had to apply for it on a platform that was to a certain degree transparent, when you were awarded the tender, then you would see exactly where the money went, how it was spent, who was awarded it, and everything was recorded on chain. It cannot be changed, it's immutable, it's decentralized. Corruption would end, and Africa would be a very prosperous country to live in.
But from what you're saying, there's a lot of vested interests that don't want that to happen.
But you also think about it this way: you can have opposing political parties, and one of the parties might start using this as part of their political campaign.
Yeah.
They might say, when we come into power, we will start doing X and Y on chain. which in turn will provide transparency
and
to the
prevent
country.
corruption, and which is a good ticket to run on.
Exactly. So I think that's probably where you'll start seeing big change is political administrations using it as part of their agenda, especially if it's taxpayers' money, should be recorded on chain publicly so that you can see where the money's going. Unless it's a matter of national security, if it's your money that you're giving to the government and you're trusting them to govern people and uplift a nation, then it should be
Transparent, and publicly available.
I want to know who was awarded that tender to build that bridge and who was competing, and that should be available publicly.
Speaking on a more personal level, moving from a city like Cape Town with a wife, 2 children, third one on the way, is Dubai a lifestyle that you can recommend? How have you found it just as a family?
Dubai is super cool. It's obviously, you could argue there's some areas of Dubai where it lacks authenticity and culture.
Well, the culture's not low. Well, most of us younger than 20 years old.
Everyone is young and everyone is an expat. But that is if you ask...
How many expats are in Dubai?
I believe there's only, I'm probably getting this wrong, but I'm paraphrasing, but I believe there's only about 200,000 Emiratis, could be a little bit more, in a city of 3.5 million.
Okay.
So it's a city built on expats. But people often ask and have that argument about culture, and the best way to combat that is, well, Dubai doesn't think about the past, they think about the future. So it's the city of the future. You're taking part in an economy and an ecosystem and a network that everyone is here for the same thing. Everyone here wants to be part of building something or being part of a company that's doing something innovative, or they want to improve their lifestyle for themselves, for their career, for their family. Everyone's here for the same thing.
And obviously the fact that it's a mainly almost totally tax-free environment is a big attractor for
Yes,
for
it's also
young-
very expensive, but yes,
Is
other
it?
tax-free jurisdictions are not as livable as Dubai is. Dubai is a fully functioning economy with great schooling, great services, great products. Lots of head offices that have moved here.
You talked about certain apps that give you access to a lot of the 5-star hotels along the beaches. And I mean, it's for South Africans who know about Sun City, Dubai is like a different Sun City every day for you and your wife and your kids. I mean, you've got access to such amazing facilities. So and what I'm also noticing, a lot of families with young kids, and I suppose that's got to do with the demographics of why more and more people are coming here. But it is an attractive venue if you've got young children.
Definitely. I mean, the schooling is great. It's super, super safe. There's lots to do with kids. There is an app for everything. I've been here for almost 8 months. I've been to the petrol station 3 times because you can just order petrol on your phone. You can order groceries and they'll arrive in 15 minutes.
Yeah, and I mean, I've noticed with the taxi app here, I mean, Kareem is way more efficient and cheaper than Uber. And when you book a taxi and within a minute, it's here. My key focus is the environment. Speaking as an investment and blockchain and Web3 expert, how can this technology help the environment, species diversity, sustainability?
The main use case of it is to store data, to transfer data, and making sure that it's instantaneous, it's cheap, it's fast, you don't need a middleman, and it's immutable.
Is there a role that the data collection and transparency facilities of blockchain can play in providing credible, verifiable data that is of use to the environmental community? I
mean, the data we're being fed, do we trust it and is it verifiable? That's the question you have to ask. And where does it come from? If there was an application that recorded the data, that first of all, whatever you put in needs to be the truth, right? So it needs to have a mechanism that
wherever sources,
wherever the data is recorded, it's immediately put on chain and accessible to the public. That could be a use case. Another one could be creating NFTs of endangered animals, where you can participate in helping them, or sponsoring, or endorsing, or donating funds to certain initiatives.
Okay, good. Thanks for your time.